2, 1. We are live. Hi, everyone.
Hey. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Zócalo, your one-stop shop for all things Babylon 5. I'm Char. That's Norm. Those are the buddies.
Right here.
We have guests this week. It's
live.
Awesome. Oh,
live
my
bunnies.
God. Live action bunnies. It's going to be the most distraction show ever because we have bunnies.
They're good. They'll be quiet. Unless they want
no,
treats.
I'm not saying, they're going to be fine, but nobody's going to pay attention to us because, hello, they're cute.
I know. There we go.
Yeah. Aw.
They're very sweet.
And I see you've got your B5 poster there in the background, so you're ready to go. I need to do that too. I need to put some stuff back here.
Yeah, my background or my whole kind of life is in disarray right now. So,
because we'll do that.
Yeah, and I'm sorry that I haven't been around. The last couple of weeks, it's just that with moving comes a lot of different variables,
Yes.
walkthroughs and packing and inspections and life,
and life and health issues and there's all sorts of moving parts going on.
Yeah, and this last weekend, holiday, right?
Right. Yeah. Lest we forget, we had Thanksgiving just on Thursday, which now feels ages ago already.
It really does, doesn't it? That's weird.
I can't believe that happened. I was not really expecting it beforehand. Then it did happen, and now it's a distant, faded memory, I guess. And yeah, Black Friday shopping is allegedly happening. I don't know about that. I'm not going anywhere at all this weekend. I've not left the house except once to pick up sandwiches for lunch.
What kind of sandwiches? I'm just curious.
There's a local sandwich shop in my area where they do hoagie style sandwiches, and you can get a whole lot of anything. They've got Italian, they've got a Cuban, you could get meatballs, you can just do veggies, and I do a pizza sub. So it's marinara with some veggies, and then you top it off with some cheeses, and it's fantastic.
That sounds amazing.
It's delicious. And then, of course, they toast them, so they're nice and warm and yummy. And then I get some jalapenos on there, too, because I want some kick.
I can't do that anymore.
I really hope I don't. I don't know. I'm going to suffer that fate, I think. Both of my parents in their mid-40s could no longer handle spicy food. When did it happen for you?
Oh, gosh. I don't know. Probably in the last couple of years. I think it's ever since I turned 40.
Okay, so something in your 40s, your stomach changes and suddenly spicy food is out of the picture. I'm going to be in mourning when that happens to me. Just for the record, I'm 39 right now. Yeah. So I'm almost there.
My stomach is fine. It's what happened my body chemistry, is what happened to my tongue. I sent you pictures. And no, people, I wasn't sending going on. Don't get any ideas, people. I wasn't just sending pictures of my tongue to Sharp.
See, what happened is he flew warp 10 and it fell out, and it was just this whole ordeal. You have no idea, you guys.
I said, Sharp, please, I want pepperoni pizza.
And I said, no, Norm, no. And then he kidnapped me. We were on this planet for a couple of days, and I blacked out. I don't remember what happened.
Then there were blizzards, and there were lizard babies, and then there's a whole thing. Right.
I thought we weren't going to talk about that.
Please. I love that scene. I do. And I haven't listened to Robbie and Garrett's podcast on that on the
Delta Flyers.
On the Delta Flyers.
Yes, and they just did Threshold, and it was so good. Now, do you subscribe to them on Patreon so you could get the extra stuff with Kate Mulgrew?
I'm thinking about it. I haven't done it yet. I'm thinking about it. Yeah.
Worth it.
Sure. I'm sure. Just for that alone.
Well, let's say hi to everybody who's taken the time to join us. Hi, BC and Earl and Terry Lynn. Thank you guys so much for joining us. BC says TikTok on my stomach. Yeah, dude, I know. But then Terry says that she's 70 and still loving it. So I don't know. Maybe I'll get the genetic luck of the draw. We'll find out, won't we?
I hope so. I don't wish being able to lose that kind of culinary enjoyment on anybody. I love spicy foods. And I was just watching, there's this great show on Netflix. Carol and I were watching the other night. Rainn Wilson narrates the show, and I think it's called We Are the Champions. It's about these weird, kooky, championships or these contests. And one of them was about just eating spicy stuff. We're talking everyone kind of knows what the Ghost Reaper is, right? You know,
Yeah.
that pepper, that like ridiculous hot pepper. It's usually like the ender of an attempt, right?
Yeah, it's usually something that you eat on a dare.
Right. So this competition took the best of these champions, right? And they opened up with a Ghost Reaper,
Woo!
right? And it just
Okay,
got
we'll
hotter
have
from
fun with
there,
that.
right? I'm just like,
Oi.
anyway. So Terry, just to let you know, when I eat spicy foods, whatever's in that spicy food, whether it's a pepper, most of the time it's like either like in a spice or a pepper, something like that, something very acidic. It basically just tears my tongue with canker sores,
Ow.
and
Yeah.
it's really painful. And right now, in my stage of the game, there's not like a food that's worth it. So,
Especially when you talk a lot as a podcaster doing things for Mission Log, you can't afford to have it be painful when you talk.
oh, at all. Like mission like
Yeah.
here, like last Sunday, I did send Char a picture of my tongue, and there was a
You did.
canker sore that was rubbing right up against my lower incisor or bicuspid.
Yeah.
Oh my
That looked
God.
painful.
It was agony. And it's terrible.
But you're better now?
I am. Yeah, the lizard DNA is starting to kind of take effect. So, losing the tongue was one thing. We'll see what happens,
Okay, my man.
Yeah.
A lot of things can happen in an hour. All right. Well, before we get into the show topic, which I kind of want to put a holiday spin on it, which this is sort of like an informal, we have the Ask Me Anything in the banner, which is so like, hey, if you've ever had a burning question that you've wanted to ask us of anything, us about our lives, B5, what have you, throw it out there. That's part of what the informal chat is. But also, I got to thinking, we didn't get a whole lot of holidays on Babylon 5. And I got to thinking, what if B5 had something like a gratitude festival? Not so much Thanksgiving, but a gratitude festival where it's sort of like a potluck. Everybody brings in a dish, you feast, you have a good time, you drink, I don't know, maybe some people are dancing, and then you share with everybody what you are grateful for. So I'm going to throw out some ideas. Norm, you're going to throw out some ideas, and I want all of you tuning in to throw out your ideas. Let's see if we have any sort of overlap, or if we're just going to kind of have a free-for-all as for what we think people would do during a festival like that. But I thought it'd be kind of fun we're just over Thanksgiving and what have you. And yeah, I don't know. I've always wanted to see more holidays on B5. Like in Parliament of Dreams, we have kind of the religious ceremonies. So more of that.
And I think that Joe did cover it somewhere along the line in one of his interviews, but I think he wanted to make the show non-terrestrial denominational in a way, so that so you wouldn't get like the Christmas episode, or because like network executives would kind of force you into those lanes if in fact that you were going to represent that in some way in the series, but staying away from that and letting, say, like the in-universe religions take more precedent, like the Minbari. I guess that would have been the ritual of with that ritual of reflection or self-sacrifice, where they would give up something. And
yeah, that's true. There was the ritual. Well, there were many rituals. But
there's a ritual for waking up. There's a ritual for sneezing. There's a ritual for itching your butt. There's a ritual for everything in bar culture.
Speaking of food, there was the whole ritual Lanier had to go through when Delenn invited Sheridan over for Flarn.
True enough.
There was a lot of meditation and a lot of complicated preparation involved, and somehow he was the one who had to do all that. She didn't, but she got to get some of the credit.
Well, that's what happens when you're an ambassador. You got people.
True.
You got lackeys. You
get your minions to do the hard work, which is entirely what I would suspect Delenn would do for the Festival of Gratitude. She would probably bring Flarn, and she would have Lanier make it, but they would present it together as if they both had a hand.
Well, just think about it. At some stage of the game, Delenn was making the Flarn for Ducat. So, You know,
It's true. So she paid her dues, I'm sure. And here's the thing: is like she wouldn't just be, she wouldn't lift a finger, maybe with the preparation. I'm sounds like I'm coming down on Delenn, but I'm really not, guys. She would probably lead a meditation before they eat, much to a lot of people's boredom. But
well,
some people would give it a genuine try.
didn't they do something like every time they ate a bite, they would bang a gong to give thanks to?
Were your lights flickering?
I was just interphasing. No, it's
so. You did go to Warp 10, didn't you?
I did. I told you.
My goodness. I thought you were just exaggerating.
I want pepperoni pizza right now.
I had pizza last night. It's delicious.
But it wasn't pepperoni, was it?
No pepperoni.
Was it half pepperoni?
Taco pizza.
Taco pizza.
Yeah. Do like some fake vegetable grounds and hot sauce, Mexican blend cheese, and olives.
That sounds amazing.
It was delicious.
All right. Very cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so in this festival, first of all, because we're all about tradition here, we got to do the traditional salute to our listeners.
Oh, absolutely. Yes. To you all. Valtu.
Valtu. I'm having coffee today.
I'm drinking water today. I've just really not been feeling the Brevari as of late. I want to take a break.
That's okay.
Give my body a bit of a rest.
I have been. Yeah, I have been. So before we jump into this, the Babylon 5 ceremony, it's like I've been doing this cleanse for the last almost 40 days.
Uh-huh.
For the sheer fact that I wanted to have my pumpkin pie on Thanksgiving. So you have to give up certain things, right? You have to get to
rituals.
Oh my God. It was so worth it. It was a 10 across the board on every count of that pumpkin pie.
It looked so good.
And I searched for it too. I literally got it 2 days before Thanksgiving. Stater Brothers finally got it in. I was doing Instacart for days and they kept refunding me. And it's like, oh, come on, man. Right. So I wanted to get it. It's like, I've been eating the same pumpkin pie. I'm going to share a little story here. So my very first Thanksgiving here in Southern California, 21 years ago. Right. So I was supposed to bring something for potluck for work. I didn't know anybody at work. I was brand new. I just started. And I was living in the Buena Vista Apartments on La Palma down here in Southern California. PC, so here comes the claim jumper story.
Speaking of which, I want to say hi to Mountains of Elysium in case you have to go during the story. It's very nice to see you. It was nice to see you earlier on the other live stream I did this morning.
Oh, yeah?
Yes, the Babel for 5 live stream that I did with my husband. We recapped season 5 and kind of our overall thoughts on the series because he was a first timer. He kind of generated his perspective, and then we are going to keep going and watch some of the movies. So stay tuned for that. The project's not completely done.
That's fantastic. I think that's awesome, right?
It should be fun. We're going to do it over winter break when he's got time.
You're not done with the story yet. The characters aren't done yet. All right.
Yeah. Well, and my husband's a little bit of a completionist. But I didn't know if he'd want to keep going after Sleeping in Light because that's such a perfect conclusion. And so I said to him, hey, look, if you're good with this, we can stop here. No questions asked, but he wants to keep going. So
we're going to be watching Crusade. I'm excited.
We might get there. We'll start with the movies and then we'll go from there. But one step at a time. We might, though. We might.
All right.
Anyway, please continue.
So I went to go. I know BC has probably heard this before. But I had to get something for the potluck. So I walked across the street. There was an Albertsons there. So I walked into Albertsons, picked the first thing I could find because you have the end cap freezers and they're right there by the check stand. So on my way to work, drove there, ran in, grabbed it, didn't even know what it was, grabbed it, and then made it at work. So I cooked it at work, and I was like, okay, this is great. So next Thanksgiving rolls around, the exact same thing. I've been doing the exact same thing. Not the whole chasing it down. Of course, this year I had to chase it down.
Well, now you know where to find it. Usually, most years.
Yeah, but that's been my ritual for 21 years here. And let me tell you something. It's tasted exactly quality control for that product is amazing. It's tasted exactly the same for the last 21 years. And I have half of it, half for me, and then half for Carol. And I usually buy 3.
Three? Hey.
3. One for Thanksgiving, one for Christmas, and one for work.
Okay.
Because I always bring the one in for work, and I don't need that one.
That's kind of you.
That's my work pumpkin pie. So this year though, John Champion gave me a little bit of a a little bit of a pointer with my heavy whipping cream. He says, throw in like a shot of bourbon, which was amazing.
Oh yeah, I've heard about that. I have not tried it, but it sounds amazing.
If your pumpkin pie is really heavy on like the spices, say like the cinnamon and the white pepper and the nutmeg, a rye bourbon is phenomenal in its pairing.
I believe it. That sounds
So
like a
good.
really complimentary pair.
So that's my big pie story. That is how I prepared my flarn for this year.
Okay, so Norm is bringing an amazing pie to the Gratitude Festival, although you have to share.
I will. I'll cut it up in little
bring one for
squares.
yourself, bring one for the guests.
Yeah.
My tradition is always a vegan pumpkin cheesecake.
Yum.
Yeah, that's what I make every year with a homemade graham cracker crust, and then pumpkin, all the usual spices, and non-dairy cream cheese. That's all it really is.
Now, do you use kind of like the pumpkin filling, or do you get it from your actual jack-o'-lanterns that you core out?
I've done both. It's better with fresh pumpkin, of course. Yes.
I love like coring out like the tradition, right? You know, you core out your pumpkin, you set aside the guts.
Yeah.
Make
it's a lot of work.
Clean out your pumpkin seeds, toast those up, right? And then
absolutely.
Use that. Yeah. We're both
when I lived in Fargo, we grew pumpkins, and that's what we would do. We roasted the seeds, saved the puree for pies for holidays, and oh gosh, it was so good. But it's a lot of work. We're talking like a day's worth of labor.
Yeah. But it's worth it, right?
It is. It is. It's so good, so fresh. Mm-hmm. You know where it came from? It's great.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm going to jump into comments. We've got all sorts of good stuff. Terry Lynn, Terry Lynn was talking about how she's never really seen Delenn eat that much. Yeah, not really. She drank the milk, like you mentioned. She did eat a piece of Johnny's flarn that he tried to make in Sick Transit Veer.
Yep.
That's just about it. I assume she eats.
she tried popcorn. You know, when Garibaldi was showing her his second favorite thing in the world.
Yes, that's right. And I did not know that Mira can't cook. I know Claudia Christian is an amazing cook. For whatever reason, I thought Mira liked to cook too. I must be wrong.
You know, we're going to have to kind of try out one of those recipes from her gaming cookbook. You know,
which I have, by the way.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we ought to just like flip to a random page and see if we can make it and then present them no matter how they turn out.
That'd be funny if like the random page was like, okay, like whiskey shots. Done. Oh, somebody woke up.
We get an A.
This is Buffy.
Buffy. Hey,
That's
baby.
Buffy's the blonde one, and then Pippin's the gray one.
Yeah. Sweet potato pie is delicious. I totally agree with everybody who's saying that in the comments.
I love sweet potato pie.
Yeah.
Love me some sweet potato pie.
You can't go wrong with pie.
I like pie over cake. Is there
any kind of bad pie?
Not that I've had, but you know what? I'm not a big fan of like sweet fruit pies. If the apple pie, if the filling is too sweet, that's why I like Granny Smith apple pies because they're very tart, right?
Yeah.
I've heard that really good rhubarb pies are good.
Oh, absolutely. Another great thing from Fargo is rhubarb grows like a weed in the north, and you can't get rid of it. It grows so much. I made a lot of strawberry rhubarb and just plain rhubarb muffins, pies. I mean, you name it.
I think that I'm just going to like jump in here and interject like who else is going to bring stuff to our festival. So I think that Garibaldi would bring like his banya calda.
You think so? Against Dr. Franklin's objection, of course.
Absolutely. Yeah. But
yeah. The next day, Franklin comes by Garibaldi's quarters, slaps down a food plan.
Sure. But that's next day, right?
That's the day after. Right. But yeah, and it would be a hit too. People would be in love.
It's so good. It's so good and it's so simple and it's so, I wouldn't say it's bad for you. I mean, like, let's see, you have olive oil, garlic, anchovies, and bread.
It's just very rich is the thing.
Well, yeah. But we don't know like
it's so good.
Yeah, like we don't know like, you know, what the calorie or what the nutritional value of flarn is. Right.
Hey, you know what? They look like little tofu cubes, if you ask me.
They do. They're probably like the best thing that you can probably eat, and like with the personality of a Q-tip. You know, like there's no like flavor to them. You know, you're just eating like,
Well,
basically
they
flavorless
don't look
cotton balls.
great.
No,
No.
but they're prepared well.
Well, that's just it. Like if you've ever prepared tofu, that is entirely kind of what you have to go with is
Mhm.
tofu will take on whatever sort of flavoring profile you give it. It's very adaptable. But if you don't season it enough or what have you, yeah, it's going to be a little bland. It's pretty tasteless in and of itself, but you can turn it into whatever you want.
Earl says that, I think Stephen will have mysteriously given a clearance for some more banya calda.
Yes, after Garibaldi hacks the computer system, permitting everybody to have a sampling or a few, right? Oh, I really enjoy Summer's idea for
What's
New
that?
Year's Eve, which is
Mm.
she says, take your favorite vodka. Yes, please. Dip outshine lemon bars, popsicles, into the
Mhm.
vodka and slurp.
Nice.
Oh, heck yeah.
Vodka freezes
Uh-huh.
well, right?
Yeah, it can.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, that is just, but she's talking about just dipping it in the
Dipping
vodka.
in vodka.
It's like having like a little frozen lemon drop popsicle martini.
Oh, nice. You know what? If you do it,
I like
if
the
you
way you think.
if you do it with kind of like the right lemons, say from like like the Amalfi Coast, from Italy, because I know you can get those. I think you can get those lemons here. Then you can get like a limoncello pop.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So if not, it's just a
Yes.
lemonade pop. You're gonna get like a really nice limoncello effect,
Mmm.
with that.
Delicious.
Or you could do what I do and just dip your finger in a thing of whiskey and then lick your finger. That's what I would do. I'm not fancy.
Simplicity.
Yeah, I'm not fancy, and it gets the job done. Also, just drinking it straight, also not fancy, it gets the job done.
Earl has a really good question. What
Hmm.
would Kosh bring to a potluck? Okay, here's my first question about that. Would he even show up?
Oh yeah, I think so. I think
Okay, if he shows up, he has to bring something, right? That's the rule. So what would a Vorlon bring to the potluck? And here's the thing is, I don't think anybody would know that it was Kosh that brought it.
Right. It would just be there. It's
It would
always been there.
Exactly. Yes.
What's this turkey doing here? Well, how do you know it's a turkey? It's always been there, right?
Here's what I think it would be in the Vegas sense, where nobody really knows what it is, but if you take a small portion, it is delicious. Whatever it is, it's a flavor explosion that you've never experienced in your life.
Right.
Nobody knows what it is. Nobody knows who to call on. Like, hey, where can I get that recipe? No, it just, did you see that thing? That is amazing. And then it's gone before you know it.
It would be. I would think it would be like glowing or ethereal in some way. Then you would eat it, and then you would have like this out of body experience that would take you throughout, like the past and the present and the future.
Oh my!
Right. I think it would probably just basically bring acid to drop.
Acid-laden casserole or something.
Or something.
Oh, great. Everybody's going to have a massive trip during our holiday. That's going to get in the way of the meditation, maybe.
Well, I mean, it could, it could help. It could allow you to get closer
on what's
to
melting,
yourself. Sure enough.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Okay, so we know Londo's bringing all the booze, right? Only
totally.
He's saving like the finest bravade for himself.
Well, if he's not bringing it, he's certainly drinking it.
Yeah, that's what I mean. He's got a little something for him and then one for everybody else. Ivanov is a complicated one for me. I was trying to think about like Jewish desserts or something like maybe something traditional that she grew up with. And I thought of just the most boring thing, like a honey cake. That is a traditional Jewish dessert. And here's the thing is I think it would look really plain. It would get overlooked and then you would eat it. And oh, that's really delightful.
Yes, it would be amazing. And then you would be like saddled with years of regret after eating it. So
that sounds about perfect.
How about, I mean, like really, really like, like good Jewish moms. Well, I mean, I grew up with a couple of like, of really close friends, and their grandmas, they would like stuff us full of, challah bread. Oh my God. It's like, little challah for the challah. Yeah, that's right. That's really good.
I've never had it, but it sounds so good.
It's very dense. It's knotted. And it's like you just eating it. You just tear off a piece, chew on it, and then all of a sudden it's like gone. And you're like, oh damn, that was a lot of bread that I just ate. And then you have dinner. Like you never go you never go hungry visiting, say like Cantor's, right? It's run the Jewish deli. You never go hungry.
Oh yeah.
Right? They'll find some way to like just stuff you with something, right?
Nice.
I also hope that there would be kind of like, some traditional, say, like corned beef. I know I know it's Irish, but
Corned
like,
beef hash.
like potatoes, something like that.
Oh, potatoes. Yeah, who would bring potatoes as like I don't know, a casserole dish maybe, or are we
Zach
just
would bring
thinking
the
like
casserole dish.
he probably would. That's a
Yeah.
good choice.
Zach would bring the casserole dish because it's like
Yeah.
it shows off enough of him trying to be dateable material, and he knows his way around the kitchen a little bit, but it's a casserole, right?
So it's really easy.
Yeah, right. And it's just enough commitment.
Just enough, right? It's
Yeah.
like maybe 5 to 10 minutes of preparation. You bake it for 20, 25 minutes, and then you're done.
Yeah, it's like,
But it's tasty. It's serviceable. It's very much like Zach. It's serviceable.
He tries. He tried really hard.
He tries.
Right?
And he's trying to get Lita to eat it.
Yeah, he's has all the right intentions, right?
Yes. And then he realizes I should have just brought pizza.
Mm-hmm. Don't try so hard, Zach. Just you gotta read the room. Read the room.
We have some comments about what Jakar would bring, like some fishies, or Jakar could bring the potatoes to eat with Swedish meatballs. Now that's funny you mentioned that, Terry Lynn, because that was going to be my suggestion. Is Jakar is bringing his version of Swedish meatballs, and then he's going to argue with everybody about what Swedish meatballs are.
Right. Well, there's always a food in the universe that represents Swedish meatballs.
Right. So which one is correct? Are they all correct? Are none correct? What is this enigma?
I think it's like it's kind of like this. The same molecules that make up Swedish meatballs on Earth are the same molecules that makes up Swedish meatballs on
We
Narn.
are Swedish meatballs.
We are Swedish meatballs, right? It is. It's like instead of star stuff, it's like we are Swedish meatballs.
That's fantastic.
Either that, or it could have like little bitty like like a horseshoe crabs like crawling all over the place off of his plate.
I kind of, aside from booze, I wonder if that would be not a Londo thing. He doesn't like bugs.
Oh, he does.
I could
not
just
like
see him
bugs.
slapping it back on his plate.
Yeah, or like impaling it, with his kutari, and laughing.
That would probably be the Pakmara. They'd bring something really gross and squirmy.
Or just barf it back up.
Ew.
No, that would do. They would like show up to the party with nothing. Then all of a sudden they would get seated down and then just barf up like, oh, here it is. This is what we got.
You're right. That's how this whole thing would end, is they sample so many different foods and several of them don't agree with them. And by the end of it, the Pakmara have vomited all over the place. Mac and Bo are pissed because they got to clean it up.
They got to clean that up. Yeah. So speaking of Mac and Bo, so who would bring the spoo? And would it be fresh or would it be well-aged?
Well, here's the thing. When it's inflating in price at so many credits an ounce, I think they both have to go in on it and bring as much as they can afford.
10 credits an ounce, if you can believe that.
It's awful. Yeah. And I mean, they're working maintenance. They can't be making that much money. It's tough, man. It's tough.
Earl is going deep with the trivia here. It's like, if we're assuming a holiday where all is forgiven and all are welcome, then what does Nagrath bring? Well, he brings henchmen, first of all, right? Yeah.
It's true. It's true. Oh, Terry Lynn says that Jakar loves spoo, so he'll bring it. That is true. Maybe Jakar does bring the spoo and then Mac and Bo eat it.
He likes his spoo fresh, though, which is an insult to the Centauri.
Yes. And so Londo's going to cringe at that. But fortunately, he's so drunk, he has his 5 seconds of hatred toward it and then moves on.
So when we read Becoming Superman, Joe's grandma made that gelatinous gray mixture of boiled everything. I think that's where spoo came from, because
it seems possible.
Spoo is supposed to be this kind of like grayish gelatinous mass, right?
If there was like a meat flavored Jello out there, I think it would be something like this.
Yeah. So just boiled the hell out of it just to make sure that you just kill any germs that would kill you. Eat it. Right? Yeah,
but it looks vile and tastes not a whole lot better.
What would Catherine Sakai bring?
Ooh. Now, I think Catherine Sakai would probably try to go all out. She would try to cook a meal from scratch. Don't you think?
For everybody or just for Sinclair.
For everybody. She would
Oh.
bring enough. She would bring enough to share.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But what would she make?
I gotta flip the
That's
light
the
on.
problem is we don't know her well enough.
What do you think she would make? Because she probably just got like a really new, like big new commission, for finding some like Quantium 40.
So maybe there's some secret ingredient in there that costs a little bit, something that she might have not otherwise had been able to afford. I'm not sure. So I don't know. Truffle, mushrooms, something or another. I'm not really sure. I'm not really living the high life in 2020, and nor was I before. I'm not sure. Like caviar, that's not really her style. I wouldn't think. I'm having a hard time just determining what that would be.
What did she bring? When she got her new contract, she got some really, really like gourmet food that she was going to share with Sinclair. I think truffles were on there somewhere.
Was it truffles? I mean, it seems like truffles are in everything. So that maybe isn't the worst idea. So some really fancy truffle mushrooms, something or another.
Truffle risotto is fantastic, by the way. And I think, let me just get that situated.
Nice.
So I don't know who would do it. And maybe they would do it at Fresh Air, because I think Fresh Air is a pretty fancy place.
Yes.
They would do what I call like the risotto Parmesan wheel.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. So what happens is that you bore out like a shallow channel inside this wheel of Parmesan. Then you would take your risotto as soon as it's cooked, and then you throw it in there into that channel, and then it would just melt down that center bored out area, and you mix it in there as it's melting, and then you take it and you serve it fresh. Then you would put black truffle on top of it, and it is fabulous.
Wow. Okay, that sounds intense, but really good.
Yeah. And it's like basically molten cheese, fresh risotto, and fresh black truffle. Now, I think that is what Catherine Sakai would do, because she's fancy like that.
I am on board. Okay.
But personally, I would rather have the banya calda. That's just me.
That you would be at that station, that part of the table the whole time, wouldn't you?
I'll have to find the pictures that I took when I was at the Stinking Rose in Los Angeles. It's just basically, I think it's called the Stinking Rose, and it's on La Cienega, right across from Benihana's, and it's just basically a garlic festival in there. Oh,
okay.
Yeah, it's amazing, and the very first thing is like you open up the menu, and the very first thing they have is this banya calda right there, boom, and that's really like all you need to do. Is like if you want, it's like a really good meal for two people. If you want to stop there, that's fine. I don't recommend it. I recommend eating everything there. And BC says Marcus would bring a lot of regrettable British food. He would bring Captain Jack's food packs.
In honor, in his memory.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like that idea. That's really cute. It's meaningful. It's got, I don't know, Marcus would want something with some sort of substance to it behind why he would bring it. And so it wouldn't look like much, but there's a good reason why he would do it. Because really, I mean, okay, speaking of characters not eating, what have we seen Marcus eat before? Like he ate soup one time.
Marcus eats a lot of guilt.
Yeah, he does. He lives off of guilt.
Yeah, and black coffee and maybe cigarettes. Yeah. Well, the thing is, I always thought that like Rangers would have like food pellets, kind of like Willy Wonka gum. They wouldn't have to eat; they would just have to like, because they're all very like Minbari and like the Anlai Shak. They're all very like purged of those kind of those human desires. Like food and
pleasure and it's true. Like, so what you're saying is he would probably have something sort of like a Soylent protein drink or something that just, and please no jokes, oh, it's people, yeah. There's that actual drink now that's supposed to be nutritionally balanced that you could live off of it if you really needed to, so you don't need to take time to bother with food. The choice made, there you go.
I'm completely wrong about Marcus, and here's why. Because Marcus would deliver something to everybody at the celebration, and you wouldn't even know it or expect it. They would just lift up the tureen, or the cover, and it would be like bacon and eggs.
I was just wondering if that's where you were going with that. Do you suppose he would try and bring that for everybody? Now that would be a chore.
That's Marcus, though, right?
It's true. It's true.
You know, he would find like the one thing. It's kind of like, you know, when they were trying to figure out like what to bring like Malcolm Reed for his birthday, and no one knew that he liked pineapple.
Yeah.
Except for that one enzyme that the doctor had to treat him for because he loves eating pineapple. So he would try and Marcus is like, all the Rangers are really good at listening, right? So
yes.
They would figure out like, you know, say Lanier's like, oh, I really liked, you know, this thing that we had when I was still an initiate with third Phalanx Domo, blah, 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 blah. And then it'd be like, there it is, Flarn that you didn't have to make. I made it. So you can just eat it. Right?
Love it.
Oh my God, somebody else cooked for me.
Earl says that Lita would bring black pudding because it matches her eyes.
That's right. Yep.
I kind of like that idea.
It would be a little on the spicy side too.
Yes. Also, Zathras. He would bring some nondescript soup. Time is finite. Ingredients are finite. This was wrong recipe.
Yeah, it was supposed to be a souffle, and now he brought soup instead.
Yes.
Right?
Oh, and Terry Lynn says that Veer would bring fast food. Here's what I think happened with Veer is he would genuinely try to make some sort of Centauri traditional dish, and it would fail horribly. Maybe it would be burned to death or something. Something would go wrong to where it's completely inedible. He can't even try to bring it. So he has 5 minutes before the party starts. He heads over to McBarry's and he brings something like French fries.
McBarry's, that's so funny, right?
I love it.
Oh my God. Let's see. Norm, your blonde red bunny wants a pet. Yes, she does. She gets pets all the time. Buffy is very demanding of everyone's time.
Meanwhile, my cats are both on the bed. We have a weighted blanket now that they're both really into. Oh my gosh, they love this thing.
Let's see. Earl says, and over in a corner of the room, Drawl and Lou Welch bond over the perfect cheeseburger. Lou would totally bring like cheeseburgers and beer.
He would. He absolutely would. And it would be delicious.
Yeah. He's kind of like, Lou's kind of like, he reminds me of like a Schlitz or like a Pabst Blue Ribbon kind of guy. You know, nothing fancy.
You think he'd go down that far down for PBR? Or would he, I don't know, like Bud Light is not a whole lot better in my opinion, but yeah, I don't know. I could see him like breaking out some cans of Bud or something. Maybe
like a Miller High Life.
Maybe.
You know, Miller High Life is kind of like the beer that it's a good one-off when it's really cold after a hard day's worth of work. You know?
I think that would fit him.
Yeah.
Yeah. But cheeseburgers, definitely.
Oh, sure. I mean, he's like, that guy is comfort food central. You never, like, do you, for somebody who was supposed to have been like Garibaldi's like second in command at the time, you know, before Zach came on the scene, he wasn't really fit, was he?
No, I think he's got a few vices and does not work out because he works hard enough during the day, dang it.
That's true. That's true. He works hard. He brings home the bacon. Who would bring bacon?
And
Who would bring
the bacon? Would somebody bring bacon? Huh. Have we decided what John Sheridan would bring?
Sheridan would bring
Marcus,
something.
if he's bringing bacon and eggs.
Well, he would bring, remember,
that's
true. That's true. And somebody would steal that. I'm sure, like, I loved it when both like Sheridan and Garibaldi were like, ooh.
Yeah.
I saw that bacon. Oh.
Bacon and eggs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, Sheridan. Okay. You mentioned oranges. Yes, of course. So what sort of like orange dessert or something would he
like
bring?
A sherbet, or some kind of like liqueur, Nukem Cola. I don't know.
Nukem Cola. If he started a soda company, that's what it would be.
Yeah. Well, Nukem, I mean, I don't know if anyone's out here is a video game fan, but like Fallout, they had this thing called Nukem Cola. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I've not played Fallout.
Bester would bring snipers to a picnic.
Yeah, he would, wouldn't he?
Yeah.
To watch and listen in. And
what?
Yeah.
Let's see. Sheridan would like tell you like all about the things that he would bring. Like he would bring carrots, steamed, not boiled, raisin. You know, he would like be very descriptive. Like, here's what I have for Thanksgiving. I brought a turkey, fried, not baked. You know.
And here's the thing: is we know Johnny's not the greatest cook, so he's probably going to make a lot of it, but it's not going to be very good.
No, but he would have tried. Of course, like the Florence.
He tried. And it might be a little salty, but actually the truth is it needs a lot more salt.
Oh, Terryland is good. That's a good suggestion. Orange cheesecake with shreds of chocolate, like
on
top of it.
Yeah, I like that. That's a good idea.
Just a little bit of darkness on top of that orange. Just a little bit of dark chocolate on top of that orange. Yeah.
Heck yeah.
Earl says Sheridan would be the guy who has a blog where it's a 10-minute read before you get to the first recipe. Of course it is. Of course it is.
Oh my gosh. Whenever I'm hunting for recipes, I come across these blog sites and she's like, can you just get to the recipe, please? I don't need to know the life story. I'm sorry.
I don't know like how hard it is to find anymore. I know it's expensive, but kind of like there is that Babylon 5 cookbook, you know?
Yes, there is.
Yeah. So I don't know if it's out there in like PDF form.
I mean, I think it is. I think you can find it somewhere. Where exactly, I do not know. It would be a lot easier than probably trying to get it off of eBay because it comes around every once and again from what I've seen.
Stop. I've not had dinner yet. Neither have I.
I'm sorry, Terry Lynn. Are we making you hungry? You know what? I haven't either. I'm going to have dinner right as soon as we're done with this. So just trying to get in the mood, maybe.
Okay, so if we're all sitting around, say like this long dinner table, like in the like in the Minbari celebration, we have Londo like trampling up and down the dinner table on plates and just knocking shit over stuff.
Yeah, and trying to dance with people who do not want to dance.
Who would have been the best dancer out of that group? Like, say if they went off and just wanted to do dancing, and who would be the worst? Who's like the dancer? You're like, damn, dude, really?
Zach.
That's what I was thinking. Oh my god,
Zach has 2 left feet. I think Garibaldi might not be the greatest dancer either. He would try, but he's he just doesn't have the moves.
I think if Garibaldi, like if someone like said, "Hey, let's dance," like say if Ivanova goes, "Come on," and Garibaldi's like, I would rather have my eyes plucked out with the dullest fork ever. So that would be a no. That would be a no. Okay, good to know.
Probably. No. We know that Franklin's a good dancer. I think he would kill it on the dance floor.
Oh, totally. He would be advertising all over the place because that's what
100%. Yeah, I think like he and Ivanova, he'd get Ivanova to go out. They dance for a little while, and then he would just keep going all night.
Right.
He would wear everybody out. Let's see. I think Lita might have some moves that nobody knows about until she shows them.
Well, here's the thing. She could be like the worst dancer in the world, like Elaine from Seinfeld. She would just like get into everyone's heads and make it look like she's amazing.
I like that idea too.
Right? She could have like brought the worst food. She could be the worst dancer. Not to say that she is, but then all of a sudden everybody like, wow, this is the greatest thing I've ever eaten in my entire life. Just with a thought.
That's a fantastic. Yeah, it's true. She probably would. Maybe this would work on Earl's suggestion of Kosh bringing a huge heaping pile of black licorice. And it's considered a delicacy on the Vorlon homeworld. I'm not the biggest fan of black licorice myself, but I think it would have to be a little more vile than that. Like maybe I'm thinking like lutefisk level here. It would have to be disgusting.
I don't like licorice in general.
You don't?
I think it's like I think there's something unnatural about it.
Yeah.
I'm just not a licorice fan.
It's not my favorite, but I don't hate it either. It's just not something. It's not the first thing I think about when I think, oh, I want something sweet. I never think of licorice.
Right. It's because it doesn't. I mean, I can go off on licorice. It's the same thing. It's how I feel about raisins. I think raisins are like they're great solo. They're terrible in food. Because there's a point of rehydration in food with raisins, and it's like you're just eating a rotten grape now, right?
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, I think I agree with you there.
Ugh, I hate raisins in food.
So
I bite into mushy raisins like. Bleh.
Bleh. Yeah, they are. I love those little mini boxes though, as just a part of a snack. That's all right.
Snacks are fine. They don't rehydrate.
Yeah.
right? That's my
Boy.
thing with raisins. They don't rehydrate.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So you can get the B5 cookbook on Amazon if you've got $168.98. You know what? I'd be hunting around for that PDF. All.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. It's out there. I just don't remember where. If I do find it, maybe I'll put it in the Discord. Speaking of which, the ritual besides
Oh,
our
it's Discord
Valtu
time.
is we've got to make a invite that will last approximately a day from when this is broadcast. If you're not a part of the Discord group and you want to join, here it is. Bam.
Oh.
Let's see. Oh, Earl is all over the Vorlon desserts here. Candy corn. Brother, don't get me started, man.
Let's see. Other
Those strawberry and
Volandia-
peanut candies. Yeah.
Those are horrible.
They really are. Nobody likes
They're
those.
terrible. And, so are those giant like mascarpone peanuts, those big orange ones.
No one likes them. Nobody eats them.
Okay, so if you're from the Midwest, you pretty much stay away from anything that's called Brock's. Okay, Brock's candies. You know what I'm talking about. Brock's candies are literally like one step up from like penny candy stores. I'm not saying all of them were terrible, but they all are. So and they're usually. Well, they're
How do you really feel, Norm?
They're the candies that your grandma throws into like a candy dish and just leaves out for freaking eternity.
Right. And then they sit there for 5 years.
Yeah. And you end up eating them anyway. Yeah,
because they're there. Yeah, Earl, you are trying. You're doing a good job too. So you're on the more vile angle.
Right. They're never individually wrapped. So you have like these giant things. They're like, let me like blow the dust off that. And then you start eating them because there's nothing to do aside from eat.
And they're
bad
so chewy.
Candy.
If you've ever had one, it takes days to eat it.
Also, the butterscotch candies from Brock's always used to cut my tongue because it would have that little razor thin kind of hole in them where the mold didn't really quite fill. Just saying.
Okay.
Yeah,
I was never much of a butterscotch fan. I never really did the butterscotch ones. I didn't like butterscotch for the longest time. And what did it for me is back when Harry Potter was releasing books, I was working at a coffee shop and we did a Harry Potter themed drink, which was root beer with a little bit of butterscotch syrup. And you add some half and half to give it a creamy texture. Oh, it was amazing. And we called it a butterbeer.
The butterbeer. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I heard the ones from the official ones from Disney. I heard those are super sweet, or Universal, wherever that is. I don't know where it is.
Harry Potter, that would be Universal, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so
not that
the
we
one
can
person
go right now, but yeah.
True enough. So the one person that we haven't really gotten on the list here for holiday festival food is Sinclair.
That's right. Okay, Sinclair, I think he would really try to bring something meaningful and maybe not delicate, but maybe not quite even a delicacy, but something really good. What would it be, though?
Maybe he would like have everyone, like all the chefs of the world, like line up end to end on Babylon 5, so everyone can just kind of sample a food from the world.
Oh my gosh, he would try to sample all the cuisines of Earth. Oh my gosh.
Right.
That would be amazing. Like, this is Chinese.
That would be amazing.
This is Japanese. This is from New Zealand. He would just go across the board.
Right.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my God. That would be
really cool.
Like in
so many smells.
Yeah.
Captain Lockley, right? Captain Lockley, I think, would bring barbecue or maybe some sort of Tex-Mex.
She did like that barbecue sandwich.
She did. And with Tracy Scoggins being a Texas girl, she'd either bring barbecue or maybe some sort of Tex-Mex sort of thing. Like, I don't know, a big heaping plate of nachos or something. Something crazy like that.
I think it would be cool if she did the Tex-Mex thing, but like did the whole smoking thing too. Like maybe like, like kind of started like set up a smoker near the fusion reactor.
Oh boy. Right? And everybody's like, what's that smell?
So Terry Lynn said, where's Sinclair from? And then he, from what he said, it's like, he's had family that goes all the way back, that served in the military all the way back to the Battle of Britain. So I'm thinking that
so he could be English. Yes. So he ate food where they burn and fry the hell out of everything. No offense to our Brits.
And true enough, right? So he and Marcus would probably have to compete to
Yeah,
see,
and
who's
baked
going to
beans
bring
on
what.
toast.
Are you going to bring the boiled potatoes? No, I'm going to bring the boiled potatoes. No, you're going to bring the boiled potatoes. I'm going to bring the boiled something or other.
And see, I think Sinclair would go a little above that. He would realize that's a poor choice. Even though he might not have massive culinary skills, he can follow directions well enough to follow a recipe. He could put something together. And probably with Catherine's help, let's be honest.
Oh, for sure. Right? She'll look over. It's like, really? That's what you're bringing? Right?
He's like, but dang it, I'm trying.
This
and she's like, okay, no, stop everything. Really, I'm going to help you. And you know what? It ends up being pretty darn good.
And then they're going to talk about like, hey, he goes, how's your aunt? How's your uncle? Or how's your mom? Right?
Right? Yeah. And then they have a night of fiery passion.
Dude, Earl. What's up with that, dude? If anyone's dish is going to be well done, it's going to be. Come on, man.
I love it, man. I love it.
Come on now.
But yeah, I didn't even think about Byron.
And we will all eat together in a better place.
Shut up. I hate that song. Oh no. Could you imagine though, he's bringing the whole group and they bring the candles and they sing. This holiday is ruined.
Right, so here's the thing. So they set up like an entire Thanksgiving feast. The food's there, but the soup isn't really soup. It's like gasoline. So what are you doing with a plasma gun, Byron? And we will all eat together in a better place. And instead of Happy Thanksgiving, it's Remember Byron, right?
Oh, it's a Thanksgiving to remember. That's for sure. This is supposed to be the gratitude festival, though.
I know we strayed off.
We did. So, are we grateful that Byron offed himself? I think we are.
No.
Maybe we are.
Okay, so kind of like lightning round. So in this gratitude festival, almost kind of like serious answers here in a way, but I don't want to get too serious. We're gonna go down the cast line.
Okay, what would they be grateful for? Is that what we're doing?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you want to start?
What? So I'm thinking Sheridan would be grateful for. What Sheridan is it? So at which stage are we doing this? Like when?
This is the big question, right? Because I think it would change with each season. So let's say, I mean, with exception to maybe characters like Lockley or Sinclair who are limited to their own seasons, let's say season 3. Let's middle it out.
Okay. So I think that Sheridan will be thankful for I think he'd be thankful for Delenn. But that's a cop-out, right?
Yeah. Well, he would sort of kind of, since this is season 3, he'd kind of try to disguise it a little bit. He'd say, to good friends and good food. And then he'd kind of give a little wink to Delenn, who's right next to him.
Hey.
So,
yeah.
Okay.
So
Ivanova
would be thankful just for being alive and nothing exploded today.
No boom today. She's grateful for no booms. That's a good answer. I like that. I agree. Okay. Yep. Next, Garibaldi.
I think Garibaldi would be thankful for let's see. Being sober?
In the 3rd season? What?
Being sober?
I was going to say that too. In season 3, he would have been grateful for his sobriety. He'd be grateful for second chances or third or fifth chances. Okay. Right. Delenn. Delenn, I think. Delenn would be grateful for something.
For everybody being thankful.
Something like that. She'd be grateful. She'd have some really amazing words of wisdom that escape me right now. But maybe, she'd be grateful for a fighting chance. She'd be grateful for hope. She'd be grateful that she and Sheridan are the right people.
For that wink.
In the right place at the right time. Something like that. Yeah, she'd be grateful for that wink.
Yep.
Summer says that
That'd be
we're
good. That'd
grateful
be
that
good.
Byron's teeps annoyed Bester so well. Yes, we can be grateful for that.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
totally. They did
And
their
Earl
job right.
says Kosh is grateful for Go Faster stripes on his encounter suit. Yes.
Is there a Vorlon inside you? Only you can answer that.
Yes. Oh, Terry
Or
Lindsay
not,
has a good answer
as
for
a Vorlon
Delenn.
would do.
She'd be grateful for Lanier. And then, okay, Lanier's heart would melt and he would say, I'm grateful for Delenn.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, Londo would be grateful for Veer and Brevare.
And not necessarily in that order.
No.
Right?
Yes, and I do think there would be a point made of that. How are those buns doing?
Let's see. They're good. Londo would also be thankful for? Maybe he'd be thankful for Mr. Morden at this time.
Would he though?
And that he's kicking
would
ass
he?
on the Narn.
Oh, I don't know.
At this time, he would be.
I don't know. I'm on the fence about that. What do you all think? I'm not sure.
Well, Terry Lynn says Londo would never be grateful for anything. Too much ego. You know what? He'd be grateful for the possibility of Adira Tyree returning.
He would be grateful for Adira. True. He would just be grateful that he had that one night before Day of the Dead with Adira.
Yeah.
He would be grateful for that. Okay.
My Adira?
Okay. So season 3 Veer is an interesting one. What would he be grateful for? Would he be you know what? He'd be grateful for Abraham Lincoln and the good work he's doing. There it is.
Would he be grateful at all for Lindesty?
You know what he would? Because Lindesty taught him a lot.
Yeah.
And he'd be grateful for those lessons. So he'd be grateful for those things.
Yeah.
Lindesty okay, Jakar, I think, would be grateful for silence. And the wisdom that can be gained from silence.
My buns are acting up.
Yeah, what's up with that? What do they want?
Every once in a while that they just have to have a break from each other in there.
Oh, I see. Oh, Earl says that Veer is grateful for high numerical values. He is grateful for 6. I like that answer. That's very good. What is Zach grateful for?
Zach is grateful for Lita, I think.
But he wouldn't say it out loud.
No, that's why Zach would just be kind of just eating quietly. You know?
He'd kind of be trying to, hide in the background a little bit. Yeah, I agree. Lou Welch is grateful for cheeseburgers and beer. Oh, Bunny, don't hurt our host.
Sorry.
Buddy. Aw. Buns. We're almost done, Buns. It's okay. Who have we got left? Lita.
So.
Oh, hey. No? Does not want a podcast. No.
Nope.
Lita,
she's not chewing on any of my wires.
Lita is grateful she's not in the Psychor this time.
Lita is grateful that maybe she's grateful that I don't know. It's hard to pin down Lita in season 3.
It is. Earl has a great one for Zach. He's grateful to have that rag off his arm.
True enough. And we are all grateful for that.
We are.
Yeah.
Yeah. I stand by my answer for Lita. Because at this point, she is a runaway. She could be turned over to Bester at any time, really.
Right. Yep. I think so too.
Okay. Who do we have that we haven't covered yet?
Stephen
Franklin. What would he be grateful for? Is this before or after the walkabout? I think if it's after, he's grateful to be alive.
Nah, it's before. Season 3 is before the walkabout.
Well, this isn't necessarily Ceremonies of Light and Dark. We can fudge this a little.
Oh, then yes.
I mean, it's all season 3.
I mean, I think he's grateful for getting the second chance.
Yeah.
You know,
I think so. I think that's
being
the
able to
best
do it
one
all
for
over
him.
again. Yeah.
Yeah. Or maybe he's grateful just for walkabouts and what he's learned from that. He could just do that.
Yeah, and just learning, like, learning about himself,
Yeah.
learning like what his responsibilities are, what his duties are on the station, and
Renewing
you
his
know,
purpose in life.
yeah. Talia, Terry says, what do you think Talia would
Ooh.
be thankful for?
What would she be grateful for?
Well, up until a point, she was grateful for Ivanova.
True, true. And you could also say she was grateful to have the core, Core's mother, Core's father.
He was loyal to the core
Yeah.
up to a point.
Yes. That's a tricky one, Talia. She was grateful for a real water shower at one point.
I think she'd be great. She's grateful for Jason Ironheart.
That's a good one. Yeah.
What do you think?
Grateful for his friendship.
I think
Okay.
that's it.
Anybody else we need to cover here?
And that telekinetic power that she.
This is true. I don't know if Bester's grateful for anything.
Um,
He's grateful for himself. Maybe Morden. Maybe
He's
that's a
great.
Morden thing.
I think he's grateful for the core.
Yeah.
He does love the core. He is loyal.
He does, inside and out. He is grateful for the core. So then Morden is grateful for his friends, his associates, the shadows.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Morden's grateful for that little bit of power that he's been given as the mouth of the shadows.
Yes.
Yeah.
Does that cover everybody? Well, I mean,
so.
I guess we didn't cover Sinclair or Lockley.
Well, Sinclair is. I think he's grateful that Catherine Sakai agreed to marry him.
I think that's a good one for season 1 Sinclair. And then at the end of by season 3, he's grateful to understand the hole in his mind.
Yeah, he's grateful to become Valen, the coolest ever character.
Fulfill his destiny. That's what he's grateful for. And Lockley is grateful for love bats.
And so is Corwin.
Corwin is just grateful to be there, period. I'm sorry, I'm crapping on Corwin. He doesn't deserve this.
So what would he do?
Summer says that Bester's grateful for Carolyn. You're right.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Yeah, that's true. And yeah, Corwin, I stand by my answer.
I think Corwin's just grateful just to be there. Like, exactly. I'm so excited to be here, right?
I'm just happy to be here with everybody. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I don't really have any skin in this game, but I like being with all you people. You're good people, so.
Right. He also got talked into being the guy who like organizes all the food trays and everything into a presentation. So, I mean, everybody's grateful for that.
Yeah, you got to have your Lieutenant Corwins around. He keeps like the station. He's like the lower decks, right?
He is, but he keeps things running when everybody else has to go off and do more heroic things.
Well, true.
Yeah, he's very important.
He he has to put up with the meetings for meetings, things of that nature.
Yeah. Oh, I love what Earl said about Corwin. He's the guy who everybody signs up to bring ice for the drinks because nobody really wants to find out about his cooking. This is true. Corwin is kind of this chronic bachelor, and cooking is just not working for him very well.
It's too bad that we never saw like one, like a situation where, he's kind of like our man Bashir, where he just looks like a totally slick dude that no one knew about, right? Then, like, oh my God, I can't believe like Corwin's like this smooth. How come we didn't know about this?
That's probably Corwin 10 years from where we left off in Babylon 5. Like, he became that guy, but he certainly didn't start off that guy. Oh, I didn't see that. Summer says Corwin brings the flowers for the tables. He does, and Ivanova asks him to do it. So he's like, is this a date? Like, are we doing this again? What kind of flowers should I bring? Right. He agonizes, for sure.
Right. And
we did talk about Steven.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we got everybody for the most part.
Okay.
Well, so. Marcus is grateful for Ivanova.
Of course.
And 4 poster
Of
beds.
course.
Yes.
Of course. Yeah.
Okay. Well, we are over our time, so we should probably wrap this up.
Yeah, and it was good to finally get back on the air with you again, Char, and
Yeah, it had
talk
been
to
a
our
little
fans.
while, but life
Yeah.
happens.
Sure does.
Yeah.
And it's just, it's gonna get busy here, in the next couple weeks. So we'll keep everyone up to date on Discord and on social media.
Yeah, toward the end of the
because the
month,
schedule's just
you're
gonna
going to
get
be
a little
moving.
wonky. Yep, at the end of December. Yeah, I will be a Floridian. Crazy.
Yeah, that is going to be a little crazy. So yeah, you're going to be moving at the end of the month, and holiday times do tend to be busy for everyone. So if you can't make a stream, hey, we totally understand. In the meantime, we have plans up until when you move to keep going with new shows, and hopefully that pans out.
Yeah, well, I mean, everything should be cool. You just gotta just kind of play it by ear and
week by week,
see
depending on what's going on.
Yeah,
you're going to be a Florida man.
Babylon 5. Yeah,
you're going to be a Florida man. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, BC, thank you for the reminder about the Cerritos dinner. Yeah, with lockdowns happening in LA again, I don't know exactly how we may or may not be able to do this, but Norm and I do want to get together for a socially distant something or another. Maybe not in the Cerritos or not in Cerritos, but I don't know. We'll have to figure something out before you go.
I know. Well,
I know. We'll keep talking about it.
The universe will provide.
That's right. Faith manages.
Faith manages.
All right,
folks. We'll go ahead and let's say we do
the thing.
Let our listeners go. We'll do the thing.
Yeah. So until next week, everybody.
Thanks everybody for joining us, and we will see you all next week. And I think Char and I have a couple of really cool topics that we want to talk about. The one that I really want to do, and Char, I hope you're up for this one, is the Lord of the Rings references in Babylon 5.
Oh, that's right. We should do that one. We've talked about it for years.
Yeah, so that's something.
Maybe that would be a good one.
Yep.
Okay, we'll keep you apprised, but I think that's a great idea.
All right, folks. Well, thanks everyone for joining us. It was a fun conversation. Thanks everyone for being so active in the chat. Because
you guys are awesome. Thank you so much for joining us.
And we'll see you next time. So until the next Zócalo cast, be seeing you.